Hello, everyone. Paulo Patriot, welcome. Wookiee Supremacy, and anyone else is here. How's everybody doing, guys? Um, that one freaking out. We are enjoying ourselves. You guys ready to talk about some Cobra Kai? Uh, we're gonna do this generational kind of thing where myself viewing it and my stepdaughter who also watched it with me, and how we thought about the show and so on and so forth. I find a really good scene to share with everybody. Find it. Not yet. It's not, oh. Hey, everyone. How's it going? We'll start here in a couple seconds. If I can get it to show the logo. There we go. Add the stream. Cobra Kai. Jake D. Hale, my friend. How are you doing? Yeah, so today we're just gonna talk about some Cobra Kai, all the seasons. Spoilers. There will be spoilers. So if anybody hasn't seen it, what's wrong with you? I never watched the show, and gee, I'm already getting sick of it. Wookie, you need to go watch the show. I'm just saying. You may be sick of it because you think that too many people are talking about it, but I'm not. Oh, no. I shave only when I like screw it up. Yeah. How's it going? So we'll start off with the season one. Um, I'll let her go first, and we'll just tell her what you thought about it because you didn't start it until like one of the last episodes of the season when you saw me watching it.
I watched season one.
Well, yeah, but still, yes, go ahead.
I thought it was good. Yeah. Season one. I just think that once Daniel LaRusso saw that Johnny started Cobra Kai again, he got like he didn't want Johnny.
Yeah, JD, you're right. You're insanely good for us Gen X guy people because her sound isn't coming through though. Her not might speak up. Let me turn up the volume. Does that sound a little better? See if I can. Where it's more in the middle. Everyone. This things are great, but it's also like really terrible. All right, there we go. Do I sound any better? We always sound a little bit better. I'm trying to put the mic in between us so we can full talk through it. Oh, much. Okay. All right. Good. All right. So, Cobra Kai season one. It brought back a lot of memories, especially for me, because a lot of us, us older people, grew up with Karate Kid, the Three Ninja. That's the joys of live streaming. Yes. Yeah, she wanted to do a video, and I was like, "Oh, that takes way too much time to try to record and all that stuff." So this is how we decided to do this. But I didn't know how she was going to like it because I was already watching it. I think I was like,
You were on the last episode of season one.
okay,
and then I watched the first two episodes too.
Oh, okay. So
And then
yeah, so
I
then she went back and started watching it, and actually passed me and finished the show before I did.
and then I rewatched the end of season 2 and all of season 3 with.
Yeah, and so when it first started, the first couple episodes, I was not sure what I felt. Mostly because we all loved, you know, uh, the one guy, Miyagi, and he wasn't in it because, of course, he can't be because the guy passed in like 2005. So, but they did what Star Wars should have done when it came to Leia. They honored him by bringing back scenes from the old movies, and they put it in such a great edited way that it made it hit you right in the feel. Like you're like, oh my god, I remember that scene from the movie. And then they put a new, they kind of turn it so it's like him as a flashback, and it was so good the way they did it. It was like he wasn't dead at all. Yeah, besides being dead, he was there. Yep, you're right. Yeah, he was totally there in spirit, and you could feel it in the show, and that's what they did it fantastically. Um, and him bringing back Cobra Kai, I don't know if he was jealous. I think it's more of he was afraid what would happen because Cobra Kai was something that was not a good thing.
That's all I
Yeah.
meant.
So yeah, this is very interesting. I like look over the bar.
Me too.
Should have just put it down on the thingy.
Also, you hear that Johnny was the bully, but in the show it kind of seems like LaRusso was.
Yeah.
John.
They did how they did that was by making it seem like now you're seeing from both perspectives, not just Daniel. In the movies, it was just Daniel's perspective. Johnny was the dick. He was overbearing jerk boyfriend who was jealous that Daniel was taking his girl, and and he beat him, and so yeah, it was interesting. But now you're getting to see the other what's happened to Johnny since, and oh wow, the dude pretty much life sucks. Yeah, neither is an angel, and that's reality. Yeah, there's no black and white. Nobody's a true hero. Nobody's a true villain. It's all shades of gray. Like they're all equally as bad and equally as good. And you see that really well when it comes to the kids. Um, yeah, they did a great job with that. The way that, especially with the kids, they brought on all those like really, kind of loser kids. One guy had like my brother actually. He grew up with a clip lip and palate. So he had the scar on his lip, just like that kid. So I kind of knew that kind of, what how that affects kids. And then him turning into a complete asshole.
It kind of looked like a snake tongue, though, when it showed up.
Yeah, even Kreese, yeah, at the end of season 3, we'll get into that, where I actually could relate with Kreese a lot more because of season 3. But yeah, so season 1, it took a couple episodes for me to actually start really getting into it. And then even in season 2, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to start watching this. I'm going to start watching that. I'm not going to continue watching, like, I'm not going to binge watch it.
Like
and then she went through it, passed me, and was like, you need to hurry up and finish it so I can tell you what's going on. I cried. I was like, oh, fine.
Don't tell them that.
So I finally went through it, and I watched it all the way through. And
yeah, I rewatched season 3 with them.
yeah, it was pretty good.
But I watched like 3 episodes.
I had to go through a lot to get finally done with it. My wife was getting kind of annoyed at me. She's like, hey, are you ever going to get off that? I'm like, I'm almost done. I got like 1 episode left. She's like, did you start? Yeah, it stopped. I'm like, oh, fine. You did that with your Expanse and your girlfriend. Yeah, I got to watch that show too, man. I don't have Amazon. You get to rewatch it. Okay, yeah. See, you were the opposite. You passed your girlfriend and then you went back and yeah. Yeah, I gotta watch that show because I know it's on what Amazon Prime or whatever it is. I don't have Amazon Prime. I think my wife actually does. So I'll have to get her account or something and watch it. But yeah. Um. So you get through the first season. Some of the kids that were the ones getting picked on finally stand up for themselves. What's his name becomes the champion? Miguel. Miguel. Man, I'm actually remembering his names. That's how good this show was. Parrot, Black Flag, Skull. I don't know what that means, but yeah. So Miguel, faces the guy who beat on him constantly. You kind of get a little, flashbacks like him wearing a skeleton costume and so on and so forth from the movie. And they really did good jobs like throwing you back, like remember berries and stuff like that. So remember berries, it's like when a movie puts in like old things that makes you remember that from whatever. Mandalorian was horrible about it. They were like, "Hey, look, you know this character. Remember? Remember?" Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I will. I will definitely get with her probably tomorrow, and I'll see if I can't get her Amazon account on this computer so I can watch it. That way, I can actually, because everybody's like, "It's the greatest science fiction show on earth." I'm like, okay. I like to watch the Orville, but it's like a space sci-fi thing, kind of like Star Trek. Um, so um, for us older guys, it really brought back a lot of memories from the movies. Caitlin, you watched the movie, right?
I watched it long. Like you showed it long.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh,
You watched it long. I
that
remember
probably
some
long.
parts. I remember.
Yeah. So for younger generation, it probably is not as crazy because they watch it in theaters. Um, I kind of hope they bring the Three Ninja Kids into it. Sick. If you guys don't remember the Karate Kid series, there's one, two, and three.
Yeah,
Three has a girl, and yeah, I think it was three. Or was that another one? No, it's pretty sure it's three. And then they have the three ninjas where it's his grandsons or something like that. Where I think he calls them his grandkid. Through those movies, and I would laugh my butt off. If they brought those guys in. Better made IP and original IP, and Cobra Kai is the best rejuvenated IP on TV right now. Okay, four was the girl. Four was the girl. Next, right? Yeah. Okay. So I must be forgetting what was no season three. Wasn't it? I don't know. I'm missing a movie then because I can't remember a movie. I remember the Karate Kid 1 and Karate Kid 2. He was in Japan. Or was that 3? Am I missing one? I must be missing one. That might have been 3 when he went to Japan. And what was the second one? I'll have to look him up. I'll have to look him up and try to memorize. 3 was Daniel joined Cobra Kai. I must have missed that one then. I don't remember that one at all. Because that kind of shocked me when he was talking about that in the show. He's like, I joined Cobra Kai. I was like, what? I don't remember that in the movie. But maybe I did miss one. Maybe I watched 1 and 2, and then I watched the fourth one with the girl, and I just missed the third one. Okay, well then I definitely have to go find the third movie. Um. So yeah. Uh. I still think the Three Ninjas look great in this show. They just show up. They're like, "Hi, Daniel. How you doing?" I wait to see what happened to those three when they grew up. Especially the littlest one, Tum Tum. I believe his name wasn't Tom Tom. I think his name was Tum Tum. Yeah. But yeah. Anyways, then we moved on to season 2, and you start really seeing the kids start to become more of the assholes. You kind of start seeing 3 and 4th were very forgettable. Slant, hey, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, I remember parts of 4. I just don't remember it as well as 1 and 2. So yeah, I don't remember the third one at all. So I must have missed that one. Kree's old buddy Silver that you saw in his flashbacks from season 3 was in Insight in 3. Okay, well then I definitely missed that one. That's who he called, was bringing back. Okay, well that'll be interesting now. Now I'm really gonna be confused because I was kind of hoping this guy would come back and realize that maybe he realized Kreese isn't well. Maybe like he's using his kids like to fight a war or something, and maybe he'll try to get him help. Maybe get him out of there and bring him back to like where he is and try to get him some counseling or something. Because guy definitely needs it. He's literally training kids to fight a war, and that's kind of sad. So yeah, season 2. Um, you really start to see like Hawk become Hawk. You definitely get to see the struggle in Johnny as he starts to realize that because Kreese shows back up, and you see him having trouble with him, and how Kreese can get inside his head.
And I kind of knew that Kreese was going to take over the dead.
I didn't. I was the opposite.
I kind of predicted that.
I thought what was going to happen was he's going to realize what was happening to the kids and kick Kreese out. Kreese was going to take a couple of his students and create his own dojo. And it completely went 360 on me because it was actually Johnny who gets kicked out of his own dojo and then takes his students to start a whole new dojo. Yeah, Hawk going nuts in the second season was really good. Until up to that third season, I really thought Kreese was going to make him his student, like his new champion for Kreese. But then it ended up being his. Yeah. No, it was what's his name? Robbie. Robbie ends up being Kreese's secret weapon, and that was Eagle Fang Baby. Yeah, that was interesting. So I kept saying through the whole show. Actually, I'll get to that when I get to season 3. When we get to the final end of season 3.
Oh, also, I will admit, like you said earlier, the last episode of season 2, I almost cried because the emotion just rushed to you from the screen.
Eagles don't have fangs. They don't. They got freaking talons. That's what I would call eagle talon karate. I don't know. Swinging eagle. I don't know. Swinging eagle.
He said, swing down like a fox and grab him with your claws.
Yeah.
That's what he said in the show.
Sure. We'll go with that. But yeah. Oh my gosh. So season 2 happens, and you get that whole girlfriend boyfriend trouble thing where girls are always trouble.
Hey.
They have been since the dawn of time. But just go with it, Paulie. Okay. But yeah, so yeah, she's first she's with him, and then he does the stupid thing where he accidentally gets drunk because he's jealous, and he ends up punching her accidentally. So they break up, and he's trying to apologize to her and try to get her back, and then she ends up falling for Robbie.
And then Miguel goes with Tori.
Yeah, then Tori shows up, which is hilarious because I remember her from the Disney shows. Jessie and
Camp Kiki Guaca.
Camp Kiki. See, they love this stuff. I was like, whatever, I'll watch it with you guys. So I watch those shows with the kids. And so her being this dumb blonde to psychopathic troubled teen was actually pretty interesting. She's actually a decent actress. Your girlfriend can't stand Tori. Yeah, well, it was interesting because she went from this dumb blonde in the show that she's known to be this dumb rich blonde to I'm poor, I'm gonna kick ass, and she did a good job. I really was surprised how well she did, and how good of an actress she actually is. So she has potential. Hopefully Disney doesn't screw her up like they did the other actresses we grew up with. Well, most of them. But we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I think Tori did a good job. Her acting was great. You really felt like her, like, yeah, yep. I mean, yeah, good actress. Yes, it is. But yeah, Miguel starts going out with her, and you can tell like he still loves, you know,
Damn.
Sam, but he's starting to really get feelings for her. And at that end, that like right before the last episode, when Sam accidentally gets drunk and kisses him,
Yeah.
and then everything blows up because
And
of
Tori
course,
saw it from the window.
yeah.
And then
I don't know if
that's how
you,
the
but
whole
when she
fight
like went into
starts.
school and like took over the thing, I did not think it was Tori. I thought it was somebody else. But it ended up being
Yeah.
Tori. Like beats up the secretary to take the thingy,
Yeah, and then that's how the whole fight starts.
and then the fight starts, and you see both Miguel and Robbie trying to
They
stop it.
fight. Yeah, they try to stop it, but then they end up fighting each other.
Yeah, they're both trying to stop their ladies from hitting the other lady, but then they end up fighting each other because they hate each other.
Yeah.
And Robbie, or not Robbie, but McGowan, accepts his coach's thing where he should show mercy. So he shows mercy for the first time,
And then Robbie kicks him over.
and then Robbie loses his temper and kicks him too hard, and he goes over the thing, falls, ends up in a coma. So everybody knows because everybody was talking about when it happened, and I was like, everybody was crying about it. I was like, man, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Yeah,
And
I almost cried.
she was like,
cried.
she was in there. She's like, it's so sad. You gotta know what happens at the end of this season. I'm like, shh, don't tell me.
I know.
She's like, well, hurry up and watch it. So
I thought I was the only one that cried.
no, I guess a lot of people talked about crying during that thing. And so McGowan ends up in the thing. And luckily, especially for this one, we didn't start watching until season 3 was already out. So we didn't have to wait any time to find out what's going to happen to McGowan. So yeah, yes, exactly, man. Yeah, him becoming like a surrogate son to Johnny, and then Johnny hating McGill, not just because of Sam.
Robbie
but,
hating.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, him becoming Johnny's pretty much son, especially now that Johnny's gone whoop whoop with his mama. Yeah, yeah. I was glad he got with her. I didn't think he was gonna get. I thought he was gonna screw that up at the end of season 3, but we'll get into that. So he starts getting closer and closer with the mother until that happens, and then the mother just wants him out of there. He understands that. He feels bad about it. He completely goes on the drain where he starts drinking again. I think it was hilarious when he went to the church and was like pretty much doing all this stuff, and then the pastor, his friend, knocks him out. I laughed my butt off. And I think it's great that he keeps, saying father to him, and he's like, "I'm not a priest, I'm a pastor." Because I grew up as a preacher's kid, so I get, it really hits home. So I laugh my butt off about that. And he's like, "Oh, good, you still get your thingy wet, great." And I'm like, "Oh my, you just said that in a church full of people, like, oh my god." No tact whatsoever. Great, I loved it. And he like winked at that chick in the pew. He's like, and she's like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, ah. She likes him. She would totally do it. I know church girls. I grew up with lots of church girls. But yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So we get into season 3. So season 3 really kicks off pretty good. Everybody's falling apart.
Yeah.
Daniel's even falling apart. He ends up going back to Japan to try to save his business because his rival in business, not Johnny, but this other guy, has somehow snuck and got a hold of their the Japanese what was that? The Japanese car place.
Yeah.
Yeah, Doyon or whatever, however you say it, and convinced them that it was a bad idea to stay in business with the Russos because of the fight. So Daniel goes back to Japan, and I really like this part of it because he actually, he's supposed to be at this place talking to these people. He knows he's not going to win them over, so he goes back to, Usaki Village or whatever it was called, where uh, name just froze in my brain. The old guy, his village. I can't think of his master's village.
Mr. Miyagi?
Yeah, Mr. Miyagi. Thank you. My freaking brain froze. Yeah, it was supposed to be like a Toyota kind of thing. But yeah, but they couldn't call it Toyota. So they called it something else. So he goes back to the old village, Miyagi, I think. And he realizes it's all changed. It's become a giant strip mall. Like the whole village has becomes like giant strip mall. And he's like, what the freak?
Green.
Yeah, Tommy Green Village. And so he's walking around. He's talking with some of the people, and they're telling him, well, like the crops died out. They couldn't afford to live, and then someone came to them about the real estate and saved their village and all their people because they had to modernize pretty much. They opened up food courts and all kinds of stuff. That's a really popular place for tourists. And I kind of feel bad for them because I love Japan, but I love Japan history more than anything. And I would love to go to Japan and go walk through like the temples and the forest, the old Japan. I would love to go walk through that kind of stuff. That would be such a cool thing. Yes, Japan's like one of the most modernized countries out there, but I would love to go walk to like ancient Japan, like temples and crap. But so he goes there, he realizes it's gone, and then he meets his other ex. Woo-woo, his little Asian girl from the second movie. And he it kind of rekindles some stuff, and she has a big conversation with him, and she brings out a bunch of letters that they received. Her teacher, who was also in love with Miyagi, and he was in love with her, and they were writing to each other, and he was writing about Daniel in one letter, and they had this like really beautiful thing about Daniel and how he was so happy to be part of his family, and that he considered them like his actual son, and his kids, his actual grandkids, and it was like really like a heart, wrenching scene because it you could feel
Her
it.
name's Kumiko.
Yeah, Kimiko, yeah. And then you meet his rival from the second one.
Chosen.
Yeah. Yeah, Chosen was really funny when they were like super awkward. And she's like, "Okay, I'm leaving. Have fun." He's like, "You can't leave me with him. He's a psychopath." And the dude's sitting right there, like, "I can hear you." He's like, "I'll get up and get a drink." No, I'll get you a drink. What drink do you want? He's like,
He's like, do you want a drink? I don't drink.
yeah, I don't drink. Okay. So then you find out that he is the he's the nephew to like another person who trained at the same dojo Miyagi did. So he ends up training him in the Miyagi way, and finds out that he wasn't fully trained in Miyagi jutsu, or however they call it. It wasn't Miyagi jutsu. It was what was the actual name of the martial art? It was I can't remember. But yeah, so he hasn't fully learned it. He's only learned the defensive side of it, but he hasn't learned the offense side. And he's like, "Wait, what? That can't be true." He's like, "Nah, you're lying." And he's like, "No, come with me." And he shows him the actual school that they grew up in, and it's pretty cool. I actually like their dojo way more than I like, you know, their dojo because it's sick. And it's like in the mountains of Japan, which is awesome. So he goes in and he's pretty much whoops Daniel's ass. And Daniel's like, "What was that?" He's like, "That's something you haven't learned." He's like, "Well, I would like you to teach me it." So he starts to teach him it, and then he gives him the scroll at the end. And he says, "I would like you to have it. Their secret scroll, the last of their knowledge." So he takes that with him, and he goes back.
I mean, it was funny how they were fighting, and then it looked like he was about to
Yeah,
kill him.
yeah, it was like he was gonna kill him, and then he's
just
like,
went,
boop, and he's like, I've been wanting to do that forever. And I was like, wait, what? Like it was like serious, and it was like, I'm joking with you this whole time. Thank you for not killing me back then. I deserve to die. I dishonored myself, and I was like, hey, at least this guy learned because he was a lot like I'm starting to forget names. The other rival, the main guy.
Johnny?
Yeah, Johnny. I kept thinking James. I was like, why am I keep thinking James? I know it's not James. But he's the same kind of rival as Johnny. But this one, learned from his mistakes. He wasn't so hot headed. He knew he dishonored himself and his family, and got retrained in a better way. Left his master, who was a lot like Kreese, and became a better person for it. And so he helped him, Daniel, learn, and then he sent Daniel on his way. Daniel goes back and meets a girl that he actually rescued in the second movie. And
Uni or something?
yeah. And she's like, I am like the CFO of the company that you're trying to work with, international thing. So don't worry about your deal. Let's go sit down because, I'm the bitch in charge, right? And she's like, let's go. So he gets his deal, saves his business, goes back home, and everything is, starting to look good. Things are coming up. The snake in the car thing was actually pretty funny. Yeah, the guy opened the thing and the snake popped out. I was like, oh shit. They're all screaming.
You're
Everyone
like,
jumped,
I think
dude.
it touched me.
He's like, oh my god, it touched me too. It was great. I love the little duo, the cousin and the other guy. They're pretty funny. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty funny, especially when Noosh like left and went working for his like enemy, and then he told him off. He like told him off. He's like, he remembers my name, and he's not a complete psychotic douchebag or something. And then he's like sitting in there, like, well, we might be in trouble though. And he's like, wait, this isn't a sure thing. like, sheesh. Now can't go back to work for him. So yeah, so in his third season, you really start seeing Kreese starting to take command of the group, and then a certain other group leave, and you see him alienating a lot of the original Cobra Kai kids because they're not strong. Like he wants them stronger and stronger, and he starts bringing in the bullies, like the people who bullied them, and starts training the bullies on to be martial artists, and they're like ruthless. So, uh, they start seeing through it. They start realizing that they're not on the right side, or at least Kreese isn't on the right side. So they start leaving one by one. And I was actually really surprised at the end when Hawk actually switched sides. Yeah. I did not expect that at all. I really thought he was like full on Kreese. Kreese is right. We can't show mercy. Mercy's for the weak. And then he broke his friend's arm and all that stuff. And then he, how easily he forgave him though. Like I was like, dude, just because you saved me from like getting my ass kicked from another dude doesn't mean that we're okay. And he was snapping my arm.
Yeah, Dimitri.
Yeah.
Dimitri's just a weird kid.
Yeah, Dimitri's character, I think it just annoys me.
I don't think he really wanted to do karate, but he joined anyway. That's how it kind of seems to me.
A lot of people said it was kind of annoying when he actually beats Hawk in the second season in the fight in school. Like they thought he should not have done that because he's barely training. But it ends up throwing Hawk into the cabinet. I thought it was kind of like really whatever. So all the kids are starting to take, and he starts his own Eagle Fang karate in the park.
He's like, is this place free? Like actually free?
Like yeah, he's talking to some random dude in the park, and the guy's like, "What? Like, can I go back to my family's picnic?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, go ahead." Like, and he like steals like a dude's frisbee. Okay. It's like, and then what I wanted from the beginning is I'll say all this now is this whole show. Okay, there. This whole show, I kept saying that Daniel's more defensive, Johnny's too much offensive. They need a balance, and I
Yeah.
said that they're like they're yin and yang of each other. If they would just come together and work together, they could balance each other out, and it would be the greatest thing ever. And I
And
did not expect it to actually happen, but at the end of season
yeah.
3, you see that Miguel and Samantha, Sam get together, back together.
Yeah.
And now you're like, this whole thing is a stupid rivalry. It's not anything big. It's just some silly little rivalry they're having. Let's get them back. We're gonna have, and then the whole they invaded the house thing and they attacked them in their house, which is freaking crazy. Like these dudes literally just went into your home.
Yeah.
Like I would have kicked the shit out of them and called the cops. And that would have been the end of Cobra Kai because then the cops would be like, wait, you kids came here because your master told you to go beat up these other kids? Yeah, we're not allowing that anymore. But whatever. So,
And Daniel and Johnny go to the Cobra Kai dojo and fight Creed.
yeah, they find out Johnny gets home and opens the door. It's gonna he's gonna tell
Carmen that he loves her, and
and
then
then
she
he's
shows him. She shows him Miguel, all beat up.
so he asks what happened, and then you see Daniel show up at the last minute
Yeah.
and help Johnny out with Crease, and it was really interesting.
He does the take away their power thing.
Yeah, he does the thing that
him.
Chosen taught him. I knew he was going to too. I was like, man, he's got this for a reason, and I was hoping he would like really put him down. But in the end, now there's 3 dojo. There are actually 2 now because Eagle Fang, I don't think actually is happening anymore. I think he's going to join Daniel for good, and then you get to see their ex show. Allie shows up, and
Yeah.
Johnny and her have this like big date thing. And I was really worried because you find out she's a free agent now. She actually left her husband, and now she's single. And Johnny has always loved her since high school, but now he just started going out with Carmen,
Yeah.
and he really likes her. So I was like, man, I don't know. You need to stick with the Spanish honey. Our friend here will test that. Um, Latina slant, man. He'll test that. You stick with the Latina chick, girl. She'll do you right. Just don't piss her off. uh, and so, yeah, he has this like big moment that they almost kiss, but they don't kiss, and then they go to the party, and she meets Daniel in there, and they all 3 of their really awkward moments, and then like his wife shows up, and she's like, "Oh, you're the ex." And so they had like this big, hilarious kind of where she's talking about how they're both in the wrong, that there's actually a 3 sides to this. It was her side too.
No, there was their side, each of their sides in the group.
Yeah. Oh, okay. The truth. And then where she pretty much made them realize that none of them were the bad guy, that they were both kind of stupid and selfish. And this feud is still really childish, and maybe it's time to put it in the past. And they actually start to move forward. You see that him and Daniel finally are like, all right, it's time to bury the hatchet. And I'm hoping they bury the hatchet now. I hope that feuding is over in the next season.
And they'll probably have some stuff.
Well, yeah, they're gonna have a lot. Yeah, we're gonna see like them fight over like different techniques, and then I think it's gonna be Sam and Miguel who are like, "Stop it! Like you two need to act like you're grown-ups." Like, sorry.
I feel like Sam and Miguel should be the same.
Yeah, right. And so I think next season's gonna be interesting. His buddy's gonna get there. I wonder if his Chris's buddy is gonna be the same as he was, I guess, in the 3rd movie. I gotta go watch that movie so I can now understand what his buddy was. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I can't wait to check it out. Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited for the 4th season. This is a good show. They did a great job bringing back you actually care about the new characters without having to hurt the old characters, like it should be. But yeah, if I would rate this whole show as it is now, I would definitely say like an 8 out of 10. And this definitely deserves like one of the best ratings I can give it because it has some flaws, but not much. There's almost no flaws in this movie or show. What do you think?
Yeah, probably 8 out of 10.
Yeah, that ending was
But
really
they
well.
won't. The fourth season doesn't come out till like October. I have no shows to watch now.
Well, I'm about to go. Hopefully, get to expand. I'll start watching that. I don't know. There's lots of shows out there that you might like. Gotta put them up. Look up old shows. Some of the ones that are from my era are pretty great. Well, I really like WandaVision. It really brings back my childhood.
Oh, so there's a lot of funny parts, but I think the most funniest part was when Johnny called the hashtags hash brown. I don't know why, that was like the funniest part to me. He's like,
Jake D, have a great night, man. Stay in Steam is starting soon. Okay. You have fun, my friend. Well, yeah, we're probably gonna wrap it up in here in a couple minutes because this one's gotta get to bed because she's got school tomorrow, and I gotta make sure everybody else gets to bed and do daddy things. Sometimes you gotta do stuff. I'd rather be here talking to you.
you're rude.
All right. Thank you all for being here. Have a great night. I hope you guys, if you have seen it, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I had. And I'll see you next time.
What we doing live echoes in eternity.